Good morning, everybody. It's Karen. Happy New Year. And we are having our first live stream training for 2024. It is exactly 11 o'clock by my time. So I welcome all of you here, whether you're here live or if you're watching the replay. I hope you had a great and safe and just a fantastic holiday over the last few weeks. I know we as a family, we were together. My mother was here and my sister and her family came down for 4 days, and it was great. We just really had a nice time just kind of relaxing and kind of kicking back. So I'm just going to go to the group and make sure that I can see myself. And I've said it before, it's always weird when I do a live stream and I have my computer open and I'm sort of watching myself. But for those that are new, it's because sometimes we get disconnected. Sometimes if you're commenting and sharing with me during the live stream or asking questions, it doesn't show up on my cell phone, which is what I'm using to do the live stream. So it will show up on the computer. So every once in a while, I'll look down at my computer screen to make sure that I'm seeing the comments as they come up. So welcome. Let me know how your holidays went, how everybody's feeling about 2024 and how you close out the year. For us, New Year's Eve was quiet. We spent it as a family and we binge watched The Hobbit, all three. And yeah, that was crazy because we didn't start watching them till about 7 o'clock our time, which, you know, they're all almost 3 hours long. So I think the four of us, we were like hitting the sack by about 3 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. But it was super fun. It was the four of us, and we just really just kind of connected as a family. And none of us were on technology. We were watching the movies and just eating and just hanging out and just kind of really sharing the experience and great conversations. So hopefully you guys all had a great New Year's as well. Today we are talking about really getting back to the basics, getting back to that mind, body, spirit, the connection. If you know anything about the coaching industry, it really dives into being solution focused. And it also really focuses on there's 5 elements that it focuses on. And that's your physical wellness. It's your spiritual wellness. It's your financial wellness. It's your social wellness. So your essence about the community and how you are within your community. And then also the mental wellness, right? So those are the 5 elements. And I know some of us like to kind of disconnect them, and we seem to want to focus just on one piece of those 5 elements, when in actual fact, they're completely integrated and they're interdependent. So they're not codependent and they're not independent, but they're interdependent, meaning the ripple effect, right? You know, we have all heard about the butterfly effect. Well, it's the same thing. So if something happens within our mental wellness, it will have that butterfly or that ripple effect into all other elements of our lives. And so we only have so much to go around. So when you think of it as like a pie cut into 5 quadrants, right? 5 pieces, that if you're going to take away something, it's got to go someplace else. If you're going to add to something, so if your stress goes up in your physical wellness due to illness or something else, then it's going to take away from someplace else. If you're having stress in your financial piece, then guess what? It's going to take away from the mental or the physical or the spiritual. And so when we talk about life balance, a lot of us think it's like the scale and we're trying to keep it even. When in actual fact, it's this constant ebb and flow. Something gives, something takes, something takes, something gives. And so you're never really looking for that perfect balance. You're looking to how do you manage that flow of energy from one to another to the other without it having like this huge negative impact. And as women business owners, right, we take on a lot more, not to, say anything that our male counterparts don't, but for those of us that either our parents or our grandparents, we tend to take on more. And so all of a sudden our pie gets fuller and we're having to manage more. So how does that affect our small business and how we are successfully implementing processes or just making decisions? It gets impact all around. So that's why I wanted to kind of focus on that today, because I think for us, for 2024, like our word for the year for Get Savvy is flourish. Like we can be in survival mode and we can get into, being thriving, but we really want to achieve that sense of flourishing. Like we're growing and we're nurturing and we're achieving more and we're able to handle more. And so that's our word. In the month of January, we're focusing on a sub-theme of identity. So identifying what does that core value look like is in alignment with what we're creating, what we're developing, and the decisions we're making. What's our unique value proposition within our business? Is it in alignment? Are we sharing it with an authentic voice? So kind of getting down to that basics and back to the foundation of what you're creating, how you're creating it, and who are you creating it for? And that's all really dependent. And I'm getting over cold. Can you notice? I'm getting the nose ring. And yeah, we were all sick. I didn't want to mention that. We were all sick over Christmas. But no more. I keep saying I'm healthy. I'm healthy. Now that you can tell my voice. But so that mind, body, spirit element really translates into how you're creating your business, how you're managing those decisions, how you are developing processes that support not just the business to grow and to flourish, but how you as an individual can grow and flourish. And remember, we have a lot of different identities, right? Like we keep saying we wear all these different hats. It comes down to who are we identifying with? So like right now I've got, kind of my live stream business coach hat on, but in the back of my mind, I'm going to do the whole multi-peak hat because my kids are still home. They're not back to school till tomorrow. Surprise. I had no idea. I thought they went back today until like last week when my daughter's like, oh, we don't go back to the 3rd. And I was like, whoa, what? So I am right. We're constantly flipping and turning our hats to depend on what role we're taking. So, when we're looking at those 5 elements, I really wanted to focus on 3 of those today. And 1, the mental piece, right? So being that mindful decision maker. 2, the physical wellness, right? The physical well-being of not just us, but our business. And then being that leader, that thought and inspirational leader. And because that's part of that community element. So when we're looking at that, we want to be looking at how are our decisions in our life affecting our business and how is our business affecting our lives? And it can become all consuming. So, and this kind of sparked a conversation that my husband and I had yesterday, because as we do every year, we state our intentions. What are our goals as a family, as individuals within the family unit that we want to achieve? And I shared a goal, and I think it kind of scared him because it's a pretty big goal. And he was like, I don't know, I just don't want you to take on that burden. And he didn't realize that language mentally started to impact how am I seeing myself, how am I seeing my role, how am I seeing what I'm building, what am I bringing to the table for you guys here in this group. And I had to really dissect that and really work at letting that piece go because right, all of a sudden what I thought I was going to be doing yesterday was totally impacted by his concern. And he's coming from a place in his heart and his worry for me and, being the caretaker that he is. So it really made me kind of sit back and go, it's not a burden. My goals aren't a burden. My goals are inspirational. They make me passionate. They make me want to do more and get up and kind of kick the sheets off. So as you're creating your business, your mindful decisions, that mental piece, language plays a big part. So I don't know why my phone's dinging. Oh my gosh, I thought I turned it off. Okay, anyways, and I don't even know why I'm whispering. How about that? So, right, so we want to be mindful of, as we're making decisions for our business, how is that staying in alignment with where we want to head within our business? So when we are looking at saying, I'm going to create a new product or a new service for my clients, is it in alignment with who you are as an individual? Is it in alignment with the values of your business? And some of you might be going, wait a minute, aren't my values personally the same values as my business? And you'd be right, because that's where they started, which is why it's so important for us to keep reviewing and reevaluating what are the values of our business. What are we not just bringing from a value proposition for our clients, but what's our moral direction with our company? And that leans into that thought leadership, when we are mindfully looking at our company and saying, okay, we want to make this decision. It's in alignment with our values. It's in alignment with what our clients need or our customers want. And it sparks inspiration for me, and it wants to get me up and running every day and go towards that. So when you're thinking about, I'm just going to refresh my computer because obviously it's dinging for a reason. And so think about, what is it that where your values are, and what are the values of your business? Because when we think of our values, we think, okay, well, if I have to pick off the three off the top of my head, it's my family, right? For some people, it's their faith. For some people, it's their community. Like, what are your top three values? And how does that translate into the top three values of your business? So for me, family is number one. So when I think of Get Savvy, well, my community, that's the value, right? Bringing that family element into the business to have each and every member, whether it be here in the Facebook group or on the Women's Business Resource Community, to feel like they are part of a family, that they are supported, that is a safe place for them to communicate and share and receive guidance, right? And get that motivation. So that's an alignment, because community is a big part of family. Family is a big part of community, right? So thinking about that, how do your personal values align with your business values? And being mindful of what that looks and feels like. Because if you're making decisions and there's a misalignment, so if a decision I'm making within Get Savvy doesn't support that family value, then I'm working against myself. One, as an individual, and two, as a business owner. So if I'm not creating something that's providing that family element, that feeling that they're being nurtured and they're safe, then why am I doing it? Why am I making this decision if it doesn't go to that value? It doesn't support that value, right? So then all of a sudden you're going, oh, because it's a profit center. Okay, well, is money one of our values? Possibly. For some people it is one of their top, top 5 values. And that's okay, right? We have to remember, money has its own energy. It's not a bad thing to value money, to value wealth, because wealth looks different to everybody. So how are you making those decisions? And are they in alignment? And so for this year, when we can identify, remember, that's our theme for January, is really kind of digging into identifying, right? What are the core values? So if our core value is family, great. Then let's make sure we stay in alignment with that. If our core value is authenticity, truthfulness, then how are we being authentic in our voice when we share, when we communicate, when we inspire or educate other people? So staying true to that becomes really important. That's part of that mental piece, the mindful decision making, where it plays out in our personal life, but it plays out in our business as well. And then it leads right into that thought leadership, that community element piece. So now we want to talk about the physical, right? So, past life, I was a personal trainer for 7 years. I went to college and received my certification in personal training and yada, 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 right? So that was a big part of my life. I lived and breathed the gym for 7 years. So it was the physical wellness. I started to see the impact that when we as an individual, we were staying true to what was good for our physical bodies, our mental bodies became that much healthier, right? So, and I really thought my antihistamines were going to work, but obviously they're not, so I apologize. And so physically, what are we doing to enhance our own lives? But then how does that translate to your business? And for some people, there might be a disconnect, but when we think about the physical elements of our business, so as a coach, what are my physical elements? My physical elements are my processes. How do I interact with my clients or customers or members? And what's that process look like? That's the physical wellness. So how do my operations work? How do I effectively communicate? How do I make sure that I'm sharing in a timely manner? What do those processes look like? Those are the physical elements of my business. And I need to, Roxy says hi, by the way. Yep, now she's getting up. So what is that physical element for your business? And how does that, again, we're going to go back into that alignment with your values. How do you incorporate that physical wellness within your business, within your personal life, and that it be in harmony? So the physical element of our business, we can be looking at how do we enhance, adopt new processes that make it more effective, more efficient, right? Just like when we are working out, we go to the gym, we're always looking at how do we adapt our workouts, right? Because our muscles have that muscle memory and it becomes this mundane workout. Our muscles don't respond the same. It's the same for our business. If we're constantly using the exact same processes, sometimes that works really well because it's just an efficient, right? When we look at that lean process, they're looking at how do you do what you do with the least amount of resources and still have the same quality at the end. You're looking at the same way. You're looking at what processes are working. What's happening that is supporting the physical wellness of my business and ultimately then supporting my clients and bringing that value to them. So that means you're going to review it and you can be looking, going, okay, this process really works. How I communicate X, Y, and Z to my customers, it works, but is it the most effective? Is it the most efficient? And again, efficiency just isn't about your time and energy. It's also about your customers' time and energy. So if it works for you, but it doesn't work for your client, then we're looking back at that misalignment. So how do you adapt it? You can only do that by reviewing the end result and having that honest conversation with your client or customers and saying, hey, so I'm noticing this is a process that we do to do X, Y, and Z. It works for us. How is it working for you? And they might be able to say, great, love it, keep it up. It works great. Or they might say it works, except for this piece of it is a bit challenging, but we just learn to live with it because that's just how it works. And that opens up for conversation for you to be able to say, okay, well, we don't want you just to live with the process. We want it to be supportive and effective for you as well. So maybe there's a way we can do it better. Maybe there's a way. Roxy wants attention, right? She wants better attention, obviously. So what can we be doing so it works for both of us consistently and still be effective and efficient for everybody? And that's part of the beautiful thing. When we start looking at making sure that we are in alignment across the board with our decision making, with the wellness of our processes within our business, we're looking at then that allows us to really step into that thought leadership, that inspirational leadership piece of who and what we are, and one of the reasons why we got into business in the first place. And so some people might be going, okay, yeah, that works. Yeah, I'm just going to wing it. And you'd be okay doing that. Trust me, you will be okay if you just decide, I don't really want to go that deep into building my business. I don't want to have to think so much about it. I just want to let it be organic and let my gut lead the way. And I would encourage you to follow your gut, follow your intuition, follow that calling, because that's part of that inspirational piece for you. But then I would encourage you at about 6 months, 9 months to look back and say, okay, now what worked and what didn't work, right? Because as women, we're organic, right? We're like on the fly most of the times because we're dropping kids off, picking kids up, getting groceries. Like we are managing so much that responsiveness comes easier and we don't have to overthink. And sometimes when we overthink, we get in our own way because then we start going, oh, wait a minute, maybe that's not good enough. Maybe I need to do it differently. And then we get into a state of paralysis and we just don't keep going. We just stop. So that's why if you are one of those that just wants to follow their gut and be intuitive about it, I applaud you and I support you and I say, go for it. just make sure at some point in the future, you come back and revisit the physical health of your business. Because if you're going to want to look at scaling at all, you need to make sure you've done that review so you can implement whatever changes you need. Okay. Do any of you have any questions kind of about what I've been talking about? Hi, Amy. Hi, Smona. Hi, Annie, Nicole, and Victoria. Okay. So, yeah, I just had a notification. I had to swipe away there. So does anybody have any questions? I'm not seeing any come up. Everybody's just in listening mode, which is absolutely fine. I'm pretty sure that's why my dog is up and wandering. I'm sure my kids are now up and wandering, and since I'm in the office, I'm not hearing them. But those were the three things that I really wanted to speak to you guys about, as far as just really making sure you are, no questions, okay. Hi, Nicole. So just really think about, what does that look like? And I, back in 2010, I was actually writing articles for Ameriprise Financial. They do a monthly newsletter to all their clients, and it was called the Coach's Corner. And one of the very first things I wrote about was exactly this, about the 5 elements of coaching and how does their financial wellness impact the other 4 pieces of their lives. And it was quite interesting, because a lot of them didn't realize, as they were meeting with their financial advisor, how that impacted, added or withdrew from another piece. And the healthier they got financially, the healthier the other elements were. So that was interesting. And so, anywho, that's a side note. Questions? No? Okay. So our plan is to continue these every Tuesday at 11. And I am going to be looking at bringing on, it won't be at the Tuesday 11 o'clock hour, but I will be looking at bringing on experts once a month, every couple of weeks. I have a list of people that I'm going to be talking to about doing that, and just kind of to expand that workshop element for you guys, to kind of bring a deeper learning opportunity, and to just make sure that what your needs are being met. And my purpose with the group, of course, has always been to meet you where you're at and to provide value and training and education for you to really step into your full business and just really, again, thrive and flourish this coming year. So if you have any topics you want me to consider or to think about regarding those workshops, please drop them in the comments or direct message me, and we'll be putting that together. And I kind of got hit with the notion that I might, so don't hold me to this, but I will share it, so then that way I maybe have to act on it. But I'm thinking about doing some sort of long weekend retreat someplace. So only because I want to do one. So maybe if I just host one, that might be my solution, right? So also, what are your goals for this year? So we've been talking about this, mindfulness, and setting goals is one of them, is being mindful. And I know there's all the new year, new you, new goals and strategies. And most people kind of step into them and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And then by the end of January, they're not doing it anymore. And that is a big challenge for a lot of us, especially when we are solopreneurs and we're working on our own, and we might have networking groups and things that we can be talking with, but that accountability partner is sometimes missing. And so I want you to use this group as that accountability partner, where when we are meeting every week on these live trainings, if you want to share a goal that you want to try and do over the next couple of weeks, please make sure you drop it in the comments and you share it with us so we can support you. Because that's what we want. Like, I really want to see everybody just take off and flourish this year. And so you're going to hear that word a lot. It's kind of in my vocabulary now. Sorry, I'll apologize in advance. Okay, so what can we be doing to be mindful over the next week? What are some of the things we could be doing about our physical wellness, both personally and for our business, to set us up for the rest of the year? what can we be doing to truly step into that inspirational and that thought leadership role? So let me know, what are you guys thinking? So for me, my sister and I were having a conversation, and she had asked me about what courses I had been taking, or she's a social worker, and she works with special needs children. And so she's leading courses and workshops herself to train other social workers. And she has to be taking courses. And I was like, yeah, I just finished a 6-month coaching program, and it was great, but I need to look at something to do for this year. And so I'm challenging myself to get back in and taking courses, because I'm a lifelong learner and I love to learn new things. So I know I'm researching this week to try and identify a course for me to take. So for me, that's mindfulness. It's going to support me, and it's part of who I am and what I value in life is that learning element. So what are you guys going to do over the next 2 or 3 weeks to identify what you can be working on this year for yourselves, for your business, to enhance yourself, to challenge yourself? Because we can take on all this business stress, but if we don't find inspiration and continue our own personal growth, then it's not helpful to our business. For me, it's getting back to walking and working out. Since my foot surgery, I actually walked the longest today, which was like 20 minutes. I can't believe it. I'm so excited. Yay. So for me, that's kind of getting back into alignment with another core value, right? My physical health. And then just continuing my own training and education to really step more into that thought and leadership piece of it. So share with us what you guys are going to be working on this coming year. I want to know. I think we all want to know. And let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I've covered everything. I did have my notes. So the Breathe, Believe, and Become Mastermind is still open. We'll start that the 3rd week. The first round of mastermind groups will start that week. So there's still space in those if you guys want to jump in. The social media content calendar strategy workbook. You can tell, like, I've been using mine. It's all dog-eared and stuff now. If you guys didn't get a copy of that, let me know. And see, now I get this like new comment thing. I'm going to be working on growing my business, Victoria. That's awesome. So what does growing your business look like for you, Victoria? Do you have some concrete idea of what it might look and feel like? How would it look different in 3 or 6 months from now? And we're bringing on a new marketing. Yeah, good. So we're actually going to be bringing on in the next week a new team member for ourselves too, Victoria. So I'm pretty excited about that, to be able to work with somebody and delegate, right? We've talked about that before, delegating. So, okay, I think we're good. So Victoria, I can't wait to see more details about your marketing. Remember, lean into the group, ask questions. Yes, I have the posts are on there. I need to go through my processes and operations too. Yes, good idea. Great idea. I have the authorization on there where I need to, approve all the posts. That's only to make sure we kind of keep, again, in alignment with that value where it doesn't become spammy and too salesy. Identifying my core values. Awesome. So do you have a process you're working through for your core values, Victoria? See, funny, it's showing up on my phone now. It's not showing up on my computer. I just love technology. I keep saying that just so one day maybe I actually will love it on that scale of, love-hate relationships. So Sundays, again, are small biz Sundays. So making sure that if you have any specials or anything going on in your business, those are the days you want to post it. And I'm just reading the comments, making sure I'm not missing anything. And I think that's it. I think those are the kind of the updates that I wanted to give you guys to make sure I hit those. Okay, so yeah, so Victoria says she's reevaluating her current processes to revise them. Perfect. So reach out, right? So for all of you guys, if you have anything that you want to run past the group, run past me, post about it so we can help you and give you our feedback and input and help guide you along the way. Okay, good. So everybody else that's been on and still with us, if you don't have any questions, we're good. See, now Facebook's giving me all these messages. I don't know what they're doing. Okay, I think we're good. And I think my antihistamine is starting to wear off too. So I'm going to give you guys that gift of not staying on live for too long. Okay, so thank you all for being here. You're welcome, Victoria. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you for being here. And if you, during the joining process, had asked me to reach out to you, if you don't think I've reached out to you, check your inbox, your direct messages. You know what I mean, the message request. And but reach out. I'm here. You guys have an amazing day, and I will see you next Tuesday. And stay tuned for kind of that first workshop style that we will do. I'm still working out the details and how that will look and feel for the group. All right. Okay. Much appreciation. Have a beautiful day, and we'll speak with you guys really soon. Thanks for being here.